With the re-release announcement, Endgame will probably never pass Avatar as the highest grossing film of all time. Continues to perform below Infinity War, numbers it needed to match to pass Avatar. Hopes existed for a re-release to get it the last 20-30 million it would need, similar to Avatar's re-release. However, what appears to be a watered-down re-release is likely going to doom the movie to number 2. Today, we give you the latest box office numbers, compare the two re-releases, and I explain why I think it'll never pass Avatar, as well as look at what this means in the big picture and some of the media's less than enthusiastic response to this re-release, such as John Campia's since deleted tweet, "The Doctor is in." What's up guys, Doc Ito here with an Avatar Endgame update. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of Doc Ito's free repairs. First, let's look at the box office numbers. Over the last 2 weeks, Endgame made 10 million in the US, 9 million overseas for 19 million overall. It currently stands at 835 million in the US and 2.75 billion overall, 38 million shy of Avatar. However, Infinity War only made 17 million more from here on out, less than half of what it needs to make, and Endgame is making less than Infinity War. Over the last 2 weeks, 19 million versus 29 million for Infinity War in the same time period. Looking at the daily values, Endgame is stabilized around 70% of what Infinity War made on a day-to-day basis. However, overseas it continues to drop and is only making about 50% of what Infinity War did at the same time period. With Infinity War making more money overseas than in the US, a US re-release is not going to help that much. Without factoring in the re-release, my model predicts Endgame finishes at 841 in the US and 2.76 billion overall, 28 million shy of Avatar. With the Avatar initial release at 2.755 billion before its re-release, it's possible Endgame finishes even below those numbers if the foreign numbers continue to fall dramatically, which is unlikely but possible. So with Endgame needing about 25 to 30 million to catch Avatar, thoughts were a re-release could potentially bring it up to that number, just like Avatar's re-release got it around $30 million. But there's a couple issues. First, how is it a re-release when the movie is still in theaters? About 1,000 theaters this weekend. Also, the movie just came out less than 2 months ago. It's not exactly a re-release when it literally just came out. And when looking at the details of what exactly is in this re-release, they say it might be a new post-credit scene, a deleted scene, a little tribute, and a few surprises, which doesn't exactly sound groundbreaking. I mean, how much content did they really make over the last month to justify having a re-release of the movie? My gut is not a lot, and even Feige kind of admits that, saying it's a couple things here and there. Is this really going to bring people back to the theaters to make another 30 million? I don't think so. Avatar came out in December of 2009. Its extended release was August 27th, about 9 months later. The special edition had 9 extra minutes of footage, all of which were CG, with deleted scenes and other extended scenes. Cameron said the 9 minutes of added features cost over $1 million a minute to produce and finish. And like we know, it made 33 million. So over $1 million means at least 10 million is what it cost them to make it. Could be 1.5, and then you're looking at about 15 million. So they spent actually quite a bit of money, and some of that is marketing too, to get this re-release. So I think James Cameron, and we know his attention to detail with things like all of the sequels, with things like Alita Battle Angel, where his attention to detail and waiting 20 years for the technology to catch up to make probably the most incredible lifelike CGI character we have ever seen, even with the big eyes. They give us so much expression. In any event, James Cameron is a visionary, and he spent money, a lot of money, to get this re-release made. It wasn't just a deleted scene. Looper had a video speculating about what the actual re-release is going to have that wasn't in the initial movie. So let's take a quick look.
Maybe the surprises will be bloopers, or a clip of Feige sitting down with notoriously loose-lipped stars Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland and giving them a lecture about spoiling movies. It could even be a special message from the massive cast, thanking Marvel fans for joining them on the cinematic journey that began back in 2008. The little tribute that Feige mentioned is likely one honoring the late Stan Lee, and there probably won't be a dry eye in the house after it plays out on screen.
While those do sound great, and I would love to see them, I don't think this is going to bring people back in theaters. I mean, all of those things are probably going to end up on YouTube, within a couple days of the release. And as Looper mentions, Spider-Man Far From Home is coming out just a couple days after the re-release. I mean, all the theaters that are going to open up for Endgame are probably going to close back down for Spider-Man, so I don't think you're looking at a $30 million gross. I would predict 5 million, maybe something in that range. I don't think this is going to be that big, and I don't think it's going to make a big change, which brings us to why this re-release is probably going to doom Endgame to number 2. With them marketing and talking about this re-release now, there's no way they're going to have a second re-release. I mean, it'd be very strange for them to keep re-releasing the same movie. I think you get one. You're not going to have a second and a third and a fourth special edition at all times to get more and more money out of it, because fans are going to get sick of it. As Michael Scott says, fool me once, strike one. Fool me twice, strike three. So this is all Endgame's going to get. If there was no re-release right now, we could have hope for another re-release in a year or couple years where they do a real extended edition and maybe have a tie-in with one of the Phase 4 movies. I don't think this happens now. And I actually think that this watered down re-release means we are not getting any other re-releases, and this is it. So there's not going to be another 45 million re-release like there was for Jurassic Park or Phantom Menace. This is it. And it's not going to make it. It's not going to beat Avatar. And John Campea noticed this too. This was tweeted by somebody else, so I can't verify this, but it looks legit, and it got a lot of pickup. Apparently he posted this, they took a screenshot, and he since deleted it. So Disney's now bringing the despicable video game practice of pay more for DLC content to movies. Like Endgame kiddies, pay us more to see more extra post-credit stuff we didn't show you when you paid to see it just 5 weeks ago. You can't keep re-releasing things, especially if they're not re-releases and you're marketing it. People are going to get sick of it. They're going to notice it, and they're going to stop going to the theaters. And John Campea, I guess, had a moment of clarity, seeing that this is not okay. This is not the way things should be. But this is a practice we do not want to see in movies. We want movies that are final and fully packaged. We don't want half-made movies or movies without everything done, and then, a month or two later, well, here, come back, watch it again. We've got another update. I mean, with how many years it takes for a movie to come out, they should have done everything right at the beginning when it comes out, not having to wait 2 months for the final version of the movie. Sure, I understand a director's cut or things of that nature, but there they have months and months for the Blu-ray to come out, so there it makes sense to get more content, and I'm okay with that, but what you're presenting in theaters should be finished. Scott Mendelson argues that this re-release is actually about Spider-Man and creating a little buzz for that movie. It's possible, but I do think part of it is trying to get more money for Avatar. I just don't think it's going to work. He talks about Jurassic Park and the Phantom Menace re-releases making about 45 million. This is not the same thing. I don't even know why this is called a re-release. The movie's still in theaters. It's still in 1,000 theaters. It's not a re-release. A Star is Born was reissued after the Oscar with 12 minutes of new footage. It only made 3 million. So I think we're probably looking similar to that. Like I said, maybe a 5 million weekend, but I don't think you're going to see anything dramatic. I mean, who's going to go back to see a special feature with a deleted scene? I don't think anyone's going to sit through the movie again. It's 3 hours long. I mean, the fans have already seen it a couple times if they're really big fans. And like I said, everything's going to be on YouTube, probably within a few days. So I think Avatar's going to keep the crown. I guess we'll have to see what happens, and we'll try to keep you guys updated. So y'all have a great day. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Doc out.